Hi guys, Mer Nushir from Ross IELTS Academy. I'm here today to talk to you about the latest IELTS speaking questions. It is always a good idea to practice different questions and topics before the test. However, you don't need to worry. When we talk to our candidates, many of them tell us that their main concern in speaking is that they don't have a very wide range of vocabulary. Tell you what, it's fine. Not everyone has got the vocabulary to talk about all the familiar and unfamiliar topics. Besides, there is no need to have information about everything so that you can answer the questions. You need strategies. Okay guys, what we want to do today is to take a look at some of the latest questions in IELTS speaking, and I will give you my answers to them. Then I will explain why I gave those answers, analyzing them based on IELTS criteria. Okay, let's get started. In this video, we want to take a look at some of the questions and answers in the third part of IELTS speaking, the latest ones. Here we have 3 questions. First, we just read the questions and then I give you my answers to those questions. But if you have not watched the previous video, which was asking us to describe an interesting animal we have seen in the second part of IELTS speaking, try to watch that first, because the questions here are related to that cue card about animals. Let's take a look at the questions. How can animals cause problems for humans? The next question. What kind of animals do people keep as pets in your country? And the third question, do you think animals will still be important in the future? Now, before I give you my own answers to these questions, you should take your time, think of your own ideas and your own answers, then come back to me and we will go on listening to my answers, okay? Take your time. Did you come up with any ideas? What vocabulary did you use to answer these questions? Now, if you're ready, we can listen to my answers and just learn something together. So the first question here says, how can animals cause problems for humans? And this is my answer. They only really pose a problem when they pose a threat to our safety or hunt animals that we herd. In other words, some of the wild animals might bite us, which can cause injuries and infections, and this can be an irreparable harm in some cases. On the other hand, they can also cause emotional problems when we get attached to them and they die due to some reasons. From my perspective, this is also a problem that might happen because of our relation with animals. Now the second question says, what kind of animals do people keep as pets in your country? And here's my answer. I don't really have much information about that because I don't know a lot of people who have pets, but from what I have heard, many people keep birds, for example, parrots or budgies. They keep them in a cage and at times they are allowed to fly free within an apartment. But you have to make sure you keep all the windows closed, or they may escape. In addition to that, in the past few years, so many Canadians have been taking care of stray puppies, which I consider a really nice job. And the third question, do you think animals will still be important in the future? And my answer, in my opinion, they will absolutely be very important in the next years due to the fact that they are essential for a balanced ecosystem and the production of livestock, which influences the water, air, and soil. In addition, the people are showing more interest to support animals' rights and have them as pets. Maybe in the future, we can start to bring some of them back with cloning technology. So, now let's see what I use in my answers. As you can see here, we have different colors and I want to start with the collocations and vocabulary that I used. For example, in the first question, I was asked to say how the animals can cause problems for humans. And I just tried to use some vocabulary I knew about animals. For example, the first one, hunt, to hunt animals. The animals that we herd. The animals that we herd, it means the animals that we keep as livestock. Or the animals bite us. Or even it can cause injuries and infections, to talk about the problems they can cause. Irreparable harm, it means it is impossible to repair or to be repaired. Cause emotional problems, we get attached to them, we get used to them. Or even in the second question, I was asked to say what kind of animal people keep as pets in my country. And I used some animals' names like parrots or budgies, and then how they are kept in cages, or even stray puppies, which means puppies that are lost or have no home. As well as the third answer here regarding the third question. For example, a balanced ecosystem, production of livestock. Livestock means farm animals. Or they show interest to. Instead of saying people like, I say they show interest to. Animal rights, or cloning technology, which is the technology of making the exact genetic copy of living things. So I try to use some words related to the topic here. But other than that, I use some synonyms, especially in my first answer. I was asked, how can animals cause problems for humans? The ones in blue. Instead of causing a problem, I said pose a problem or pose a threat. So this is a synonym. I also used some fillers and boosters, for example, the ones in purple. In other words, because I wanted to give more explanation, or from my perspective, which means in my idea, I wanted to talk about my opinion. Or in my second answer, I don't really have much information about that because, so if you have no information or idea about the question, you can say it. I don't know, I have no information, but then you have to keep talking. You shouldn't be like, I don't know, and that's it. No, you have to just keep talking and give some explanation, some information, just by applying some strategies. Faking your answer, going off the topic, or just to make up a story. As long as your answer is related to the question, then that's fine, that's good. Or even in the second answer, another booster. From what I have heard, because I wanted to talk about what I have heard or my own experience. And also in the third answer, I started it saying, in my opinion. It means in my idea. The last thing I should mention here is how I use some connectives, some time order words or discourse markers. For example, in the first one, in my first answer, on the other hand, on one hand, on the other hand, or due to, which means because of. In the second one, but, it's a simple one. For example, or in addition to that, and at times, to talk about the time and not a connective. Or the third one here, due to the fact that, it means because of, or again in addition, which means and, moreover, furthermore. So you can also use the same things, but it is not about the vocabulary I use, and I say you have to use the exact same vocabulary. No, you have your own vocabulary range. The most important thing here is to use the strategies. A range of collocations, idiomatic language if you can, fillers and boosters, some connectives, not to pause all the time. How? By using fillers and boosters, grammatical structures, complex grammatical structures, and some good pronunciation features. So try to use them. Very well, guys. Just like what we did today, you can look for speaking questions, give your own answers to them, record yourself, and then analyze your answers. If you want to be evaluated by us, book an online speaking mock test with our examiners. It will make a big difference, trust me. I wish you best of luck and see you very soon.